Hey everybody, this is Russ and Janie, and we're here today to talk about our latest book, Capacity to Love. And we just wanted to share a little bit about what the book's about. I think a lot of people think that Capacity to Love was just our love story, but it's actually a lot more than that. It's everybody's love story with themselves, and by doing that, the world opens up, whether it's better friendships, business relationships, or finding that love of your life like we did, right? But we just want to give you guys something quick and powerful here to give you a better understanding of what it's all about. So with that, Janie, what is capacity to love? Like, what is capacity?
Um, Capacity is all about stretching yourself. So it's all about understanding that everything you've been through your entire life, it was always building you up for the next thing. Okay. So everything I've been through, 2 marriages, 2 divorces, all that stuff was to bring me to this moment in time. Okay. So capacity is all about growing and expanding. And as long as you, during your growing phase, during your expanding phase, as long as you can keep your heart open, all right, keep loving, keep growing, keep coming back to the plate, you're going to be fine. What happens is most of us close off. We close our heart. We're hurt. We don't ever want to go through that pain again. But I'm telling you, keep that heart open. And it's so many levels than just what I'm saying, because it gets really deep. The book has so many levels to it, guys. I mean, love is just one thing. I mean, we talk about, the divine feminine energy, the divine masculine energy that individually we have to balance within ourselves. We talk about, you even think about creation. That's the main 2 energies in all of creation. We talk about love as a vibration, but let me stick to capacity. Just keep your heart open when you're stretching, when you're growing, when things are tough, when you're in that dark season. Just keep going. I'm telling you, as long as you keep your eye on the light, follow the light, you're gonna get through, because everything that you go through is to take you to the next. It's to prepare you for the next. And that's what capacity is all about. And we talk about, what capacity is all about. And we talk about capacity in a spiritual way, not religious at all. And we talk about it from a very energetic way. Okay. So I did want to make that clear.
Okay. And also, love as a measurement, or capacity in a measurement capacity. And, you hear people talk about, you have a person over here with a gallon-sized love. They have a big heart. They love and hug everybody, and you can feel their energy. And then you have this person over here who's very self-doubting. They may have had a rough upbringing and some traumatic things that have happened to them. And, they only have like maybe a teacup size love to give. These 2 people together would not be too compatible, The one, not at this point in time.
I was
Not
about to
saying
say
it couldn't
that.
change,
I was about to say that,
but
not at this current time, because the incapacity just isn't balanced, and it will
right,
cause more issues.
right. But the person that has this big heart, they could be loving on this person over here. And, you ever hear the people who say, oh, they're just too nice and all this. And it's actually a turnoff, because if you're used to being toxic and having toxic relationships, somebody that's healed and whole coming, loving on you and trying to help you get your thing together because they got theirs together, sometimes it might be irritating. It's like, who the heck they think they are to want me to go back and get more education, or to work out more, or to eat right, or whatever. But, and then on the other side, this person, with the little teacup, well, that's that example is too much. If the person that has the little teacup trying to love the person with the gallon, they could be given everything that they have and they really like this person, but the person with the gallon really can't feel it, because it's like it's not filling them up enough, right? Because they're constantly having to pour into them. Now they're starting to deplete a little bit and their energy and everything is off. And they're like, I can't really do this. And they may not even be able to explain it, but they feel it, right?
Yeah. And that whole process is actually understanding your own capacity, okay? Is also understanding boundaries, all right? It's saying, okay, I know this is not a match and I can walk away in love, and it's okay for me to say this is not filling me, and both people can go on their journey in love. And that's another thing. I think too many times we feel like we can't, things have to be horrible and fighting and just all this drama when two people don't work out. And no, you can walk away in love. You can say, hey, listen, we tried and I love you. I want love. I wish you love. So let's let each other go in love, and you can release each other to go out and do that. And that's another part of that, of knowing your own capacity and those boundaries. So
yeah, you can go in peace. And that it extends outside of just like love relationships. It also applies to business relationships, friendships. It's the
exactly.
exact same thing. You get, this envy and jealousy and things of that capacity because this other person over there feels lack when the other person feels abundant.
Yeah.
And it really has nothing to do with material things. It's how they feel about themselves.
Yep. And I wanted to just mention a little bit as well. We talk about barriers to love in the book, and fear is one of them. Okay. We talk about a lot of different barriers, lack of self love, but I want to touch on fear because we have, as a society, we have all been programmed into fear. So this book actually breaks down that whole construct of a fear-based love, because what happens is you give a fear-based love and you are in essence just repeating that cycle. So if you give in a fear-based love, you're going to receive a fear-based love. And I guarantee you, fear and love cannot exist at the same time in the same space. All right. One of them have to go. And most times people run into fear, and love is what end up being depleted from the relationship. Okay, so that's a big thing, and I really wanted to stress that because right now this is where we are. There's a lot of programming constructs, social engineering that has kept us in fear. And if you look around, you could see it. It is very evident. I don't think we have to sit here and say what's being done in media, on the news, and blah, blah, blah. That is fear programming. But right now is the time that you have to choose love. And I say that because when you choose love, you choose everything you want. This is when you tap into a life that you can manifest in an energy of love, because you're either manifesting out of fear or out of love. And we've been programmed to go into fear. So when you are manifesting and creating your life out of love, all you can ever get back is love, because you attract who you are.
And there's only really two real emotions in the universe: love and fear. And everything else is just a derivative of those two. So, things like peace, joy, happiness, all the good stuff goes under the love side. And like things like lack and anxiety and all these other things like jealousy, all that stuff goes under the fear side. So, and fear has a way of paralyzing people.
Yes, it does.
And if you want people to do something, if you put them under fear, you could pretty much get them to do anything.
Yeah.
And right now I see so much of that out here in the world where people are turning on their best friends, family members, and everything strictly out of fear. And I think if most people would sit back and look at why they do some of the things that they do, like, is this being done out of fear? Is it being done out of love? Have those real tough talks with yourself. Like, is this love or is this fear that's making me react this way? Because Nine times out of 10, it's all a reaction. It's an illusion. We've all been in situations where we felt, hey, this is the end of the road. I'll never get through this or whatever, but we're all still here to talk about it. So that fear, for the most part, was nothing more than an illusion. And we have to learn how to live in love and have faith in love, and know that love is going to see us through even the darkest of times. Like right now, the world's dark, and we have to be that person to have the strength to be the one to carry the flashlight or go turn on the light switch.
Yep. And guys, walking in love has nothing to do with letting people run over you. Okay. I've never been a person to let anyone run over me. I've always stood up for myself, know how to put boundaries. Walking in love is just choosing, like he said, everything has two derivatives, all right? Love or fear. And no matter how you chop it up, you are deciding out of one of those two energies. So walking in love is just deciding to choose love versus fear, all right? So it could be in business, it could be anything, but I want people to know that just because you choose to walk in love does not mean that you are letting people run over you, you can't speak up, no. Like I said, everything can be done and said in love. So I could tell my truth. I could be authentic. I could, speak and communicate, but I could do it in a loving way so that my point is across, but still respectful to other people and to other people's opinions. So love has nothing to do with, not having a backbone or not setting boundaries or not, just being a pushover. That's not it. It's actually an energy and a vibration. And it is truly the key to unlock the life of your dreams. It is empowering. It is so empowering because through your heart chakra, you will go up and tap into the cosmos, and you literally will get access to information that has always been your birthright. Always.
And going back to what you were just saying, this learning how to agree to disagree, learning how to talk to people instead of at them, and realizing that the person that you're trying to convey your message to is more important than you being right.
Exactly.
So sometimes it's like, we need to get out of all this stuff about being right, being the first one to present information, all this other stuff, especially when it's going to hurt somebody,
Yeah. Divine love, because when you tap into that information of the cosmos, you understand that we are actually all one. Okay. We may be at different levels and different consciousness and different awareness, but we are actually all one. So if I see something, or if I say something to Russell, I'm saying that to myself. And I know that's a hard concept to understand, because it is, once you get into a universal oneness, that you are one with everything, one with the creator. It is within you. You are a creator. You are a god and a goddess. And you understand that we are all one under here. So you're not going to misuse your language. You're not going to misuse things. You're not going to just tell people things, because you are planting a seed to come right back to you in that exact same way.
And 9 times out of 10, those things that irk you or get under your skin are those things that you have to heal within yourselves. And that's probably why it irritates you. So, like they say, you're pointing your finger, there's 3 pointing back at you, and it like what she said, there is only one here. If we're all connected, we're all children of the Most High. We all have a little bit of, or spark of that divine within each and every one of us. And that's what unites all of us. So if the Most High is omnipresent in everywhere and in everything, God's within me, God's within her, God's within you. So it's like we're all connected in that capacity. It's an energy thing, right?
Yeah. And it frees you from wanting to control anything. You don't have to control nobody. You don't have to try to make people see your point or make people have the same beliefs as you. You you just be and you let other people be. And it's okay that I don't agree with you, and it's okay that you don't agree with me, because there's no need to control, because everyone, you allow love to let love manifest and let people see things in their own time and in their own way. So I don't have to force anybody to see my perspective at all. I allow everything that I embody to show that over time. So you don't have to control. Loves allow us not to control anything. And if we think about what control is, it's fear.
Let's talk about some more things that might be barriers to love. And then also, earlier, we were just talking about capacity, like if capacities are unequal, or say someone has a low capacity at this time, what can they do to increase their capacity? So barriers, and what can one do to increase their capacity?
Okay, so we just talked about fear. Fear is a big barrier. The other big barrier I would say would be lack of self-love. All love stems from self-love. So the twin flame union is all about going within our individual selves, me going within myself, Russell going within himself, and getting that unconditional love for ourselves. All right. And then as a feminine energy and a masculine energy, we anchor down that divine unconditional love of Mother God, Father God, because those are the two energies of all of creation. All right. And to recreate over and over again, like procreation or recreation, those two energies are needed. All right. You can't have two feminine energies or two masculine energies and procreate or keep creating. All right. That's a balanced energy of the universe. Everything created is within those two energies. So I go back to say it's about unconditional self-love for yourself. That's a big barrier. Most people don't have that. All right. Most people are looking outside of themselves to find that. And it's an inside job. You have to already have it. You have to already be embodying it. You have to already be letting it flow through you so that you can attract magnetically that same energy towards you. So self-love, big barrier.
Yeah, and let me just piggyback off of what you just said as far as it being an inside job. And most people feel that their happiness is out there somewhere, and they want something or somebody else to supply it for them. You know, they want the house, the car, you know, the job, that man or that woman, thinking that it's going to make them happy. And happiness is something that only you can give to yourself by tapping into the Most High. I think many people, as they live life and go through experiences, eventually we all end up at that point at some point. Because when you think that it's out there, you're willing to do and to pay anything to get it. So that's why you see people doing so much craziness, trying to get something that's not going to fulfill them. Like people that are doing the most hurtful things to themselves and to masses of people, or people with a lot of money. If you look at some of these musicians and movie stars who they have millions of dollars. You know, even some of these athletes, they have millions of dollars, but they're not happy. The Bentley didn't bring them happiness. All the women and all the men, all these different things did not bring them happiness. A lot of them still end up blowing their brains out or drugging themselves to death because it's an inside job, you know? And I think in this Western culture, we now have externalized God and put God out there and somewhere out there, when every scripture, all this other stuff, it says that God is within, the kingdom's within.
And we've been programmed to think that it's outside of us. So, you know, we have been programmed that way, and this is a time, we're in a change of time that we have to go within to know who we really are. And that's what the book is about. It is letting you know who you really are. You are love at the center. And, you know, everybody, you know, Christianity is about Jesus, but Jesus never taught a religion. Jesus was a master teacher and taught love. And he represents, you know, a vibration. So it's a vibration of love, unconditional divine love.
And he also said that the kingdom is within. You know, and that goes to an
Exactly.
African proverb. I post this a lot. Some of you guys may have seen this where say I was searching for myself and I found God, and when I was searching for God, I found myself. Because you realize that that same force, you know, you got two options here. You know, we live in a society that wants to teach that, you know, everybody evolved from an ape, you know, and then you got the creation story over here that you're a spark of divine. I personally would rather believe that I'm a spark of the divine than I evolved from an ape. But that's where people buy into concepts and things, and you shrink yourself to fit into a society so that other people don't feel bad about themselves. No, I'm a spark of the divine. That spark lives within me. And that's what I harness and I tap into. And that's what I show to other people. Like if you're a loving person, other people feel your energy.
Yeah.
You know, that inner chi,
Yeah.
that inner chi inside of you, they feel that energy that's pulsating from your heart, and they can see the way that you move and the way that you act, you know. So it's
And
like,
it's genuine. Like you can't fake certain things. You can't fake it. You know, you have to do the work. You have to really, really do the work. And we're seeing that right now. And I think our biggest mission with this book is letting people know that, hey, you can access this. It's already within you. If you do the work, here's everything that you could have. And I'm telling you that freedom, I mean, it's a level of freedom that no material possession could ever, ever, ever give you. I mean, when you know that you are a god and a goddess, and that you are the creator, and that with your thoughts, words, and intentions, you can create the life that you want. You can do it anytime you want. That's powerful.
you know, and those who read Jesus's words, or Yeshua, he says, "Isn't it true that ye are God's children of the Most High God?" So if you're a child of the universal prime creator, then that means you're a creator. So therefore, you create your reality with your imagination, your words, your actions, and really what you're pulsating out of your heart. Because you can say anything with your mouth, but what do you really feel that you're entitled to, and why? You know? And once you really wake up to that, you really can tap in. You know, and once again, it's you seek the kingdom first. And I'm using Bible phrases and things of that nature. It's the only thing that everybody really understands, you know, without sounding woo-woo. You know, you seek ye first the kingdom of God and its righteousness, and all other things will be added on to you. Because it's like when you're doing the right things happen for you.
Yeah. And I want to talk, before we end, just a little bit on the feminine and masculine energy, because that is important. That's why I said this book is very multi-layered. It has a lot of layers to it. And, you know, you might have to read it more than once to get all of the nuggets that's really in it. To build a great community, we need solid families, period. All right. We need solid families. All right.
Families of many nations.
Yeah. Women have been, you know, we have been in different roles. I've played them. Okay. I've been single. I've been head of household. I've done all that. And I'm going to tell you that I've had to learn my rightful place as a feminine energy. So we as feminine energy, we have to get in our rightful place so that our masculine energies can get in their rightful place. All right. We have to do this. We have to, this is another big thing, that this is how we get our families back, and this is how we get our communities back. It has to start in the house, and you have to have the right energy. So I've done some things on divine feminine energy, return to the sacred womb. These things are real. Like, this is real issues. We have been turned upside down. We have forgotten who we are, especially if you've been raised in the United States. We've been completely programmed, all right, to people that we are not. We should have never been in certain areas. And women, we've been programmed, and there has been agendas. There has been agendas that generations before us, the women before us, have fallen to. And it's okay. We're not here to blame nobody. We're here to say, hey, you know what? I got this information now. How can I get more of my sisters to understand this so that you can get in your rightful feminine energy and you can attract the right masculine, divine masculine energy to your world? Because I'm telling you, it makes a whole big difference. It's a whole big difference.
Yeah.
I love being able to be in my feminine energy and just do what I have to do there and not have to be doing both. And sometimes when you've been in a masculine role for so long, you don't even know what the feminine energy is. So that's another big thing. The book, we go into those two energies, and it's so important. Like that's the foundation. That's the foundation of communities. So we can't even get our relationships together, we're gonna have a hard time.
Big time.
Yeah, I really want to touch on that.
Whoa. Yeah, that's deep.
It is. And I'm gonna say that the feminine energy, you have a lot of power, and it is us. We have to make the changes, because the masculine energy can only follow suit. Okay, we have women that, and I'm not being judgmental at all. We all have different versions of ourselves, and that's the whole point of life. And this Earth classroom is to experience the different versions of yourself. But we have to set the example so that the masculine can know what we need from them. Okay, so we have to set that example. But there's a lot of women that are not in their rightful place. All right, and we're upside down. So we have to get back the way we need to be in our relationships.
Yeah, and there's a lot of different podcasts and blogs and things that are going on out there now that pretty much make it seem like men and women are allergic to each other. And I think it's very destructive, and going back to what you were saying is, those toxic relationships are coming from toxic people. If you're toxic, 9 times out of 10, you're going to be in a toxic relationship. Your children are going to be toxic, your community, your nation, etc. But it's a time for healing.
Yes.
And like she was saying, men and women, the gender roles have been kind of blurred. There's a lot of different gender type things that are occurring in the country. There are agendas. There's different levels of agendas within legislation that's being passed down.
Yep.
But we have to stay focused and continue to build strong children.
Yeah.
So that we can build a strong nation.
Yeah.
And I think, it's not going to happen until men and women come together and get into their rightful places. It's not going to be easy, because we're going through a big change, a societal change. So, and real quick, Miles Monroe gave this real great lecture one time before, where he was just talking about, say, in the 1940s or so, it was real easy for a man to know what the roles of a man was, right? Because women didn't work. I'm talking about it was illegal for them to work for the most part. The man went out and he earned a living. He brought the food home. The woman took care of the kids, cleaned the house, gave them sex, and they just repeat. That didn't necessarily mean it was love. That was a societal norm at the time. But, when World War II broke out, a lot of women ended up going into the workplace. All the men were off at war. They went in creating weapons and all that other stuff to be shipped out, for the war. But when the men came home from war, the women had the jobs and the men were out of jobs, so it kind of flipped everything. And then with women's lib movement, which women should have been liberated, but there was this staunch feminism thing that came out of it that took it on a whole nother level. But anyway, to make a long story short, women now are working, and the workplace really has more women in it than men right now. So, everything has changed to the point where the man may not even be the main breadwinner. So that doesn't mean that love shouldn't exist between a man and a woman based upon that, because you can't use finances to lead, and you hear a lot of these guys, and I'm not trying to put anybody down, but some of it just doesn't make any sense when they're talking about a high value man. So, these men who make six figures, it's like you're talking about 5% of the men out there. Like, what happens to the other 95% of the women and men? So it's like.
But the morals and ethics of that man is never discussed.
Right. So the whole thing is, like, we're talking about high value. We're not talking about high values, because, at the end of the day, a man, a real man, he wants to provide and protect in his woman. Provide, protect, and produce. He wants to do that. But in some cases where they're both working and they're both go-getters, things of that, it might change slightly, but the man should always want to do the heavy lifting. I wouldn't want my woman out, doing the heavy lifting, and now she's coming home. She didn't create physical and mental muscles that she don't have any business having, and then it gets to the point where it feels like you're with a man, and some of these women, by them having, and no fault of their own, is when you're in a community, especially in the Black community, where close to 70% of the homes are single family homes headed by a woman, she has sons, she's gonna end up having to do some masculine things, and over a period of time, it's gonna change who she is naturally.
Mentally and emotionally, you tapping into your masculine energy, and it does change you over time, especially if you stay within that masculine energy for too long. But it's so important, and like he said, now is a man's nature to want to provide and protect. It's a woman's nature to want to love and nurture. So we have to stay within what we are naturally, what comes naturally to us, not what we've been socially programmed to do. So we have to stay within the constructs of what we naturally like to do. And even if I'm loving and nurturing and he's a provider and a protector, it doesn't mean he can't cook. You get what I'm saying? It doesn't mean that every now and then I can't go get my oil changed in my car if he's not available. Like, those are the things that we have to we have to get past. And I also just want, because we have so many amazing women, beautiful women, and I know that you're successful, but I know you also want love. I mean, a deep love, a passionate love. So you have to make room for that man to protect you. All right. And that's what I said. If you've been in that energy for too long, and if there's a man that comes along and he's trying to, insert a position in your life, you have to understand, okay, I need to get out of this masculine energy and let this man take his rightful place as well. All right. And that's healing. That's healing our relationships. That's healing our families and our communities. Black people have been through a lot. All right. Slavery has done a lot mentally, emotionally, and physically to all of us. And now we have to heal. But we have to heal in truth. We have to really heal in truth. We have to get information. This is why you have to share information. Don't harbor information. If it's something that could help somebody, help their relationship, help them grow, share it in love.
Because when you know better, you do better.
That's it.
Or at least you should.
Exactly. Yeah. So guys, get the book. We wanted to give you guys, we hadn't really talked on it yet. We've been a little bit busy, different interviews and podcasting. You can go to www.capacitytolove.net and get an autographed copy there. You can get it on Amazon. You could also get an ebook for immediate download if you're not in the United States. Reach out to us. Let us know where you're at in your journey. Going forward, no matter who you are, no matter what's your culture, you're going to have to practice love to get into this new energy that we're getting into.
Yeah, and if you guys want to do any lives, reach out to us and let us know if you want to participate in any lives, discussing the book or relationships or whatever topic. we have some 70 podcasts that are out there. So let's make something happen here.
Yep. All right, guys, take care.
Peace.